What is the darkest thing you have kept from your partner? Posted this before, but I never told my wife that her mother tried to have sex with me. It was early in our marriage when we were living with her to save money for our own place. Her marriage of 28 years had ended badly and she was emotionally fragile. She was very drunk and was absolutely horrified at what she had done when she sobered up. I promised not to ever tell my wife and I never did, even when she and I were fighting near the end of our marriage. Some things are too cruel to do, even when you're trying to hurt each other. He wanted to find a shark tooth so badly after I found one at the beach. So I went and bought a small bottle of shark teeth from the gift shop, spread them out all over a strip of beach we were hanging at and marveled at every shark tooth he brought me. I can never tell him the truth, and this one has a price tag? And a made in China? She farts in her sleep like a wild bear. Please stop upvoting, 12,500 so far and we share our email address. I have been deleting all day and she is about to come home from work. Yeah, my wife wakes up with ungodly stinking breath. She always wants a kiss and a cuddle when she wakes up, so I just take it on the chin, or in the mouth to be more precise. I never have the heart to tell her, especially when she is perfect in every other way. I thought she liked cantaloupe. She thought I liked cantaloupe. So we had a lot of cantaloupe with dinner. Turns out we both don't like it. And so a lot of innocent cantaloupe had to die for your lies. Exactly how bad of a person I used to be before I met her. She knows I was into the drugs and some other dumb shit, but she doesn't know the depths of depravity I delved to in order to fit in with the people I mistakenly wasted my time with. I can relate, dude. I'm clean now and sometimes a memory crosses my mind from the dark days and I get chills thinking how if my wife, parents, siblings ever found out they'd never be able to look at me the same. Feel like I'm living a lie sometimes. 010 would not recommend. That I'm probably a bit codependent at this point. I think the pandemic brought that out of a lot of us. I hate that when my BF leaves for work in the morning. Her father once told me, if he could go back in time, he would never have dated her mother and have kids with her. Was pretty shocking thing to hear while on vacation with the whole step family. The guy has Asperger's. Weird family. The girl left me cold turkey a few months later after 7 years together, and I still didn't even think about telling her that story. She's my ex now, but she had just revealed to me some very, confidential information. Info I understand I'm one of only 4 people to know. She asked me if I have any deep secrets like that. I lied and told her I didn't, but the truth is, my grandmother by marriage, no blood relation, sexually harassed and abused me as a preteen and teenager. Literally nobody Earl knows. I've never told anyone. I hooked up with a professor of mine in college and after that she would pimp me out to her colleagues. That's not the label she would have given it, but that's what it was. The issue with events like this is you can't really talk to people about it because they will either say you are lying to brag or it was a plot line on a Pornhub video. Sometimes I buy a chocolate bar when I go to the grocery store and eat it before I get home. Jail. Now. I've been running from the law since I've posted this. Pray for me. 1 prayer equals 1 chocolate bar. 1 like equals 1 chocolate bar for this poor man. When she's gone for a while I relieve myself to her profile pictures instead of the nudes she sent me. Must be a killer selfie. I'm only dating her for her personality and attractiveness. That sounds like 2 solid reasons to date someone. I'm from South Louisiana and my dad is in a Mardi Gras crew. Every year he's on a float throwing beads. My husband has never been to Mardi Gras, so his first time he was so excited and it was at my dad's parade. Normally people on the floats throw the good beads to kids or women that will flash them. I told my husband that if you yell "throw me something, mister," loud enough the people on the float will give you the good beads. I told my dad and he told his float buddies. When their float came around my husband was screaming like a banshee, "Throw me something, mister." My dad and his friend pelted my husband with their best beads. When we were leaving the parade my husband was flexing all his nice new beads and thinks Mardi Gras is the best thing ever. Didn't have the heart to tell him that I told my dad to do that. He just thinks that because he was so enthusiastic, he got all the good stuff. For most of my early 20s I used a fetish hookup website. I have done some real weird shit just to see if it did anything for me. A lot of it did, but it wasn't particularly safe and I dodged a bullet not contracting STDs. I made a lot of amateur porn during this time and then a GF and I joined an amateur's content sharing site, so again made a bunch more. She knows I'm kinky but I did some pretty freaking weird shit. I have anxiety attacks when my so is away. We joke about me believing he's dead when I don't hear from him often enough, but it's real. Like hyperventilating, heart racing, crying, rocking back and forth real. He loves going on road trips and does landscape photography. I can't ruin that for him. I ate all 4 sleeves of Oreos in one sitting. I cheated on my wife when she wasn't looking at a family potluck. My wife and her sister put their peanut butter cupcakes side by side on the table and her sister makes crazy good cupcakes. My sister-in-law made peanut butter cupcakes with real peanut butter filling and filled it with Reese's peanut butter chips. My wife only put a tiny bit of peanut butter topping on hers with no PB filling. I kept making excuses to go back to the dessert table and scarf down my sis-in-law's cupcakes, especially when little kids were near it, to make it look like they were eating most of the cupcakes. Didn't even touch my wife's cupcakes. I once found a very good little chocolate cake in the half-price section of the local supermarket. I originally bought it so I and the lady in the house could have it for dessert, but I ended up eating the whole thing myself. Just how much I depend on her. For our first 8 or so months of marriage, my wife and I were never apart due to moving around and being in lockdown. Even now we're hardly apart since we both work from home. She doesn't know just how sad I get when she goes away. I miss her so much, and all I really want to do is curl up on the bed and wait for her to come back. I lose my smile, I lose interest in all my hobbies, everything. Once she gets back though, I'm alright again. This is from my POV, not Doofenshmirtz's. My father is an AIDS patient. He did not reveal it to anyone and married my mom. And as a result I was born unaffected. My mother also is unaffected. Happened in 2002. To clarify the doubt from my father, a DNA test was performed and I am his son but without the virus. Well, as she found out 2 days ago. I make an incredible breakfast pizza. She's highly upset I have kept this from her. I'm not sure I actually love him, or if I just don't want to be alone or start a new relationship from scratch. I was gonna surprise visit my friend for his birthday. I saw him banging someone. He told me his key was under the doormat. Well, it doesn't matter anymore since we're divorced now, but a few years ago, I banged my wife's cousin one night when she was in town and my wife was at work. Not taking away from the fact I was wrong in doing that, but considering our divorce happened because it came out that my wife had cheated on me multiple times over the years, she has admitted to several dozen times. I really don't feel bad about it. That I'm scared of him. If I found out my GF was scared of me, I'd die inside. That I'm buying more GME than she knows about. That I actually wasn't into fish, or any maritime animals, before I met her. She's super interested in that though, and I wanted to have something to talk about. I have since told her as I thought it was rather funny. Not that dark, but I really did not like her wedding dress. I was a man whore before I met her. I once pooped in their garage because I was waiting for her to come home and let me in. Blamed it on the raccoons. Nothing dark, but I hide pints of ice cream in the back of the freezer. If I don't hide it then it's gone. My girlfriend has zero self-control and will eat the entire pint in one sitting. I like to spread it out so I can have an enjoyable snack a few days in a row. Sometimes I leave and buy one with gluten in it intentionally so she can't have it. She has celiac and can't have gluten. Not dark but still shitty. I keep having creeping thoughts of myself with other people. I don't like them, I don't want those thoughts, but they happen regardless. My wife asked me not to pee in the shower. I told her I wouldn't, but I do it every time I shower. I'm in love with my partner and I'm codependent, but I find myself attracted to so many other women it gives me second thoughts all the time. I feel like an ass. One time I rubbed my bare pee on her favorite shirt. I knew she was going to wear it the next day. Ex-wife. When she shits, with the door open mind you, she looked like a dog mod transformation into a werewolf. If I never saw her or anyone else ever again, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest. To this day she doesn't know. My last GF thought I was simply stuck in a very long drive-through line. But in reality I helped pay for a motel for a struggling family of 3 that had their vehicle towed away. It was winter so they were freezing outside. Their daughter was about only 6 years old. The reason I didn't tell her is because we were struggling financially ourselves. She would have gotten very upset if I spent so much money helping out strangers when we needed help ourselves. Looking back, I still believe I did what I had to do. Couldn't leave them stranded outside on a winter night. Make sure to like and comment for longer videos.